Sangsara davana lalira lokam Pranayaka
Cha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara ishanu katha nirodha muktir ashrayah. Shri Suka uvacha atra sargo vishargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantara shanu katha manvantare shanu katha nirodho muktirashrayah atro sarga vishargascha sthanam poshanam utayah manvantare shanu katha nirodho muktirashrayah. You want to recite?
Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantare shanu katha nirodho muktirashrayah. Sri Sukha vacha atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantare shanu katha nirodha muktirashrayah. Shri Shuka vacha atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantare shanu katha nirodha muktirashrayah. Mataji's atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantare shanu katha nirodha muktirashrayah. Sri Sukadev Goswami said in the Srimad Bhagavatam there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following: the creation of the universe, sub-creation, planetary systems, protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, the change of Manus, the signs of God, returning home back to Godhead, liberation, and the Samam Bonam. So these are the 10 subject matters that has been dealt with Srimad Bhagavatam. So this, I'll just go through just one little statement by Srila Jiva Goswami in this respect. Srila Jiva Goswami is saying that Srila Jiva Goswami has explained that the 10 principal topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are found within each of the 12 cantos. So it is not that, okay, maybe I can just explain what are those 10 subject matters. Sarga means creation. Creation, the initial creation that is executed by Purushavatars. There are 3 Purushavatars. these Purusha avatars are Karanodakshayi Vishnu or Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. So this Vishnu incarnations of the Lord, or the Lord's appearing as Vishnu, is for the sake of material creation. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to create this material nature, becomes Vishnu. The first aspect of Vishnu is he lies in the causal ocean. And as he breathes, due to his breathing, the bubbles are generated in the causal ocean, and each single bubble is a universe. Then he enters into each of these universes as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. Then inside the bubble is empty, so he fills up the half of that empty space with water generating from his mouth. Water generated from his mouth. Just as we sweat, Vishnu sweated. That's the difference between us and him. His sweat fills up the entire universe, half the universe. And then he lies on that water. Lying on that, and for the sake of lying there, Ananta, Balaram, expands himself. Balaram's business is actually to make arrangements for Krishna. Whenever Krishna wants something, some arrangements has to be made, Balaram makes that arrangement. Krishna needs a bed, Balaram becomes the bed. So here, the bed is, on the water you have to have a bed. So he became a snake. A snake can float in water. So Krishna lies on that bed of snake, Ananta Shesh. Then from his navel sprouts a lotus. And the first created being, Brahma, is situated on that lotus. So then the universe becomes filled up with living entities. Then the Lord expands in the hearts of all the living entities as Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. In the universe, there is a region of milk ocean. Kshir means milk. And in that milk ocean, the Lord is residing, lying. And that is the super soul in the hearts of everyone, and that is also the source of all the incarnations. All the incarnations of the Lord are coming from expansions of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. So this is how there are three expansions, three Purusha avatars. Mahavishnu or Karanodakshayi Vishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. Here interesting thing to note, he is lying down. In all three aspects he is lying down. Garbhodakshayi, Shai means lying down. He is lying in Garbha ocean. He is lying in causal ocean. He is lying in milk ocean. So what does it indicate? That means he is not active. He is not acting in this material nature. He is simply lying down. Because in this material nature, although he creates this material nature, he is not actively involved in this material nature. So, this is how we can see that all these Vishnus are not actively involved in this material nature. The Lord is not active in this material nature. He is active only in the spiritual nature, spiritual sky. He comes sometimes here, and that is his incarnations for the sake of performing his pastimes. And his pastimes has two aspects. Lord's pastimes is like a drama. Why does one go to a drama? Or what makes a drama a good drama? Who can tell? Who knows? Yes.
Enjoyment.
Very good.
Emotion.
Very good.
Excitement.
Excitement. Okay. Okay. So, and what is the other aspect?
Unexpected.
No, a good drama must have conflict. More the conflict, better the drama. Now, in order to have the conflict, you have to have a hero and a villain. So the Lord comes when the villains are situated properly. So who are those villains? The demons. And he kills those demons. And so with this conflict comes excitement. All that you said is all correct. They're all the excitement aspect. Emotions and etc. And conflict. Like excitement. Do you go to see a movie? I know you don't go to see a movie. Anyway, so what is the difference between a movie and a documentary? A movie is entertaining, whereas documentary is informative. And so a drama must have this excitement, or giving through the excitement gives pleasure to the devotees. So the Lord performs his pastimes in order to give pleasure to his devotees. Iti driksha lilabhir ananda kunde shaghoshang nimajjantam akkhappayantam. I'm sure all of you know this verse from Damodarashtakam. In this way, performing his pastimes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is drowning his devotees in an ocean of ecstasy. So that is what the Lord does. By performing his pastimes, he drowns his devotees in an ocean of ecstasy. And the other aspect of a good drama is education, isn't it? When a good drama must have something to learn from, some message to convey. So this is the other aspect of Krishna's pastimes. Through his pastimes, Krishna is reminding us what to do and what not to do. What to do? Surrender unto him. And what not to do? Never stand against him. Never side on the wrong side. Never join the wrong side. Don't side with the demons. Yes, thank you. Always side with Krishna, no matter what. No matter what, always side with him. And don't we see that time and time again? How the Lord protects his devotees. That will be another aspect of this, out of the 10. Poshanam, how the Lord actually maintains his devotees, protects his devotees. So, Sarga aspect is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is creating. His creation is the first creation, Sarga. And B Sarga is secondary creation, the creation that is conducted by Brahma. In simple words, we can say the building is built, right? And then the interior decorator comes and fills up the house with all kinds of fancy stuff. And utility stuffs also, not only fancy stuffs. So Brahma does that part of the creation. He gives the living entities. By the glance of the Lord, the living entities are projected on this material nature, in this material nature, in the universes. And then Brahma gives them different types of bodies. And Brahma makes other arrangements, like provides all the other facilities that are needed. So that is the Visharga aspect. Creation by the Lord is Sarga, creation by Brahma is Visharga. Then Sthanam. Sthanam means the planetary systems. The universe, universes have, each universe has a specific structure. What is the structure? 14 planets. 7 higher and 7 lower. It's something like a 14-story building. A 14-story building with 7 floors above ground and 7 floors underground. So that is the structure of the universe. And the floors that are above ground, they're getting the light. They are kind of situated in the light of knowledge. And they have the facility to have transcendental knowledge. And the ones that are in the underground, no light. They have artificial light. This artificial light is something like electric light. But they have a special arrangement. You know what is a special arrangement? It's also something like that arrangement actually has been reflected through electric light. Those arrangements are like those planetary systems, the 7 lower planetary systems, are lit up by the serpents, snakes, huge snakes. They are situated in the lowest of the 7 planets, 7 lower planetary systems, Patalaloka. And there, on their head, there are gems. And it's the light that are coming from those gems actually light up the lower planetary system. I mentioned it's something like electric light also. Have you seen the cable? And at the end of the cable, you have the bulb, right? And the bulb gives out the light. Do you see some resemblance to a snake? With a jewel on the head? It goes even further actually. You know what is electricity? Electricity is actually fire. You know that. Electricity is actually subtle fire. And you know, poison is also fire. Electricity is subtle fire, poison is liquid fire. When somebody takes poison, his body starts to burn. When somebody gets bitten by a snake, his body burns. It's actually fire. So it's the fire, the poison that is giving out is transformed into light that comes out from the gems. So anyway, the point is, the lower planetary systems, we'll get into that also afterwards. The lower planetary systems don't get the light from the sunlight. Therefore, they're called the subterranean. The lower planetary systems are not really a kind of place which is not very nice. Actually, those lower planetary systems has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam as subterranean heavenly planets. It's like heavenly planets. The facilities for enjoyment there is inconceivable. It has also been described, we'll get into that also. It has been, when you go into those details, it has been described that those planetary systems has the facilities for enjoyment even superior to the heavenly planets. But what is the problem there? The problem is there is no knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're totally ignorant about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whereas in the upper planetary systems, there is the light of knowledge that is enabling us to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And of all these higher planetary systems, which is the best? You'll be surprised to know. The Earth planet. I'll come to that also. This is the best place. And it will be explained. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually explaining all those points. So that's the sthanam. Then poshanam. Who is maintaining everything? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is maintaining everything. Everything that is here, everything that we need. Actually, everything that is there is according to our needs. Like everybody's needs are fulfilled here. Whether it's a human being, or a demigod, or an insect, or a worm. Everybody is getting his supply. Ishavashyam idam sarvam jatkincha jagatang jagat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is maintaining everyone, providing for everyone. So that is, and then what to speak of those who surrender unto Him. Like, this is actually the world where we have forgotten Him. This is the world, this is the region where we have rejected Him. That's the difference between spiritual world and material nature. In the spiritual world, everyone recognizes Him and everyone is surrendered to Him. But when one rejects Him and refuses to surrender unto Him, he is sent to this region. So in this world, practically everybody is unsubmissive to the Lord. Now those who surrender unto Him, what He won't do for them. That is the Poshanam aspect. The Lord is maintaining everybody. So what to speak of those who surrender unto Him? How He protects them. And Utaya, the creative impetus, or karma vasana, desire to act. In this world, in this material nature, in the universe, everybody is wanting to do something. Everybody has certain agenda to fulfill. That impetus, Utaya. Manvantara. Manvantar, Manu Antar. These two words is conjoined as Manvantar. Manu Antar is Manvantar. There are 14 Manus. In a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So they come after their term is over, after the shift is over. Like in a factory, you have the shift. The Manus are like the foreman. So the foreman is the person who leads the whole group of workers. So the shift is over, then along with the foreman, the whole team goes. And with another foreman comes another team. So that's what that changes actually take place. And that shifting or changing of the Manus. And along with the change of Manu, changes everything. Like for example, the sages change, 7 sages. Demigods change. Like for example, in this Manvantar, Indra The position is actually Indra. But the personality who is holding that position is Purandar. And in next Manvantar, it will be Bali Maharaj who will become Indra. Bali Maharaj will hold Indra's position. And then also there will be another Bali who will fight with him. So, and also along with the Manvantar comes the Manvantar avatar. Different incarnate, the Lord comes in different ways in different Manvantars. One incarnation of the Lord comes as with each Manu's reign. Like for example, in this Manvantar, Baman Dev is the Manvantar avatar. He is Indra's brother. He came as Indra's brother. So this is one aspect that Mahapuran describes. Then Ishanu Katha, the activities of the Lord. The Lord performs His activities as different incarnations. Those descriptions must be there or are there in Mahapuran. Ishanu Katha. Then Nirodha, cessation of one's stay in this material nature. And elevation to the spiritual world. And mukti, liberation. And finally ashraya. Nirodha muktir ashraya. Ashraya actually, the word ashraya means shelter. The supreme shelter. But very interestingly, Prabhupada actually translated that as samam bonam. Samam bonam. What is the meaning of the word samam bonam? Samam means ultimate. And bonam means good. The ultimate benefit, the ultimate good is getting the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, finally Srimad Bhagavatam is leading us to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, I'll read it again. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained that the 10 principal topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are found within each of the 12 cantos. So the point is not that one canto after another canto is dealing with these topics gradually. No, they are there in all 12 cantos. So this is a very important thing to remember, that it is, we have to see that how Srimad Bhagavatam through every chapter is giving us the ultimate realization, ultimate understanding. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained that the 10 principal topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are found within each of the 12 cantos. One should not try to assign each of the 10 topics to a particular canto, nor should the Srimad Bhagavatam be artificially interpreted to show that it deals with the topic successively. It's not dealing with them successively. The simple fact is that all aspects of knowledge important to human beings, summarized in the 10 categories mentioned above, are described with various degrees of emphasis and analysis throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, in different chapters, emphasis had been given to particular aspects of this. For example, 10th canto emphasis is in Samam Bonam. 10th canto is actually, the Srimad Bhagavatam is leading gradually to the 10th canto, as I just mentioned. 10th canto is the smiling lotus face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, about this, there is a very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada, which is actually dealing with that. I'll read that verse. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, 1st verse. Sutta Goswami said, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action, which was for the purpose of creating the material universe. So, Prabhupada in the purport, it's quite a little long purport, but still, Prabhupada's purports are always nectarian and full of such wonderful informations. I'll just read them through. The Bhagavad Gita states that personality of Godhead Sri Krishna maintains these material universes by extending his plenary expansions. So the Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead Vasudeva or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of King Vasudeva or King Nanda, is full with all opulences, all potencies, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. A part of his opulence is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and a part of his opulence is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead Krishna is the original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are 3 Purusha features in the material creation, and this form, who is known as the Karanadokshayi Vishnu, is the first of the 3. The others are known as Garbhodokshayi Vishnu and the Kshirodokshayi Vishnu, which we shall know one after another. The innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of Karanadokshayi Vishnu, and in each one of the universes the Lord enters as Garbhodokshayi Vishnu. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also mentioned that the material world is created at certain intervals and then again destroyed. This creation and destruction is done by the supreme will because of the conditioned souls or the Nitya-baddha living entities. So again, actually what I described all this is practically the elaboration of these points or reiteration of these points. So here also Prabhupada is pointing out that this material nature has been created for the conditioned souls. What is the meaning of conditioned souls? Conditioned souls are the souls that are averse to Krishna. Therefore, coming into this material nature, they become conditioned. They lose their actual identity and become somebody else. This creation and destruction is done by the supreme will because of the conditioned souls or the Nitya-baddha living beings. The Nitya-baddha or eternally conditioned souls have the sense of individuality or ahankar. False ego, which dictates to them sense enjoyment which they are unable to have constitutionally. The Lord is the only enjoyer and all others are enjoyed. The living beings are predominated enjoyers, but the eternally conditioned souls, forgetful of this constitutional position, have strong aspirations to enjoy. The chance to enjoy matters is given to the conditioned souls in the material world, and side by side they are given the chance to understand their real constitutional position. Those fortunate living entities who catch the truth and surrender unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva after many, many births in the material world, join the eternally liberated souls and thus are allowed to enter into the kingdom of Godhead, kingdom of Godhead. After this, such fortunate living entities need not come again within the occasional material creation. But those who cannot catch the constitutional truth are again merged into the Mahatattva at the time of annihilation of the material creation. When the creation is again set up, this Mahatattva is again let loose. This Mahatattva contains all the ingredients of the material manifestations, including the conditioned souls. Primarily, this Mahatattva is divided into 16 parts, namely the 5 gross material elements and the 11 working instruments or senses. It is like the cloud in the clear sky. In the spiritual sky, the effulgence of Brahman is spread all around, and the whole system is dazzling in spiritual light. The Mahatattva is assembled in some corner of the vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and the part which is thus covered by the Mahatattva is called the material sky. This part of the spiritual sky called the Mahatattva is only an insignificant portion of the whole spiritual sky. And within this Mahatattva, there are innumerable universes. All these universes are collectively produced by the Karanadokshayi Vishnu, called as Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. Isn't it a wonderful purport? Like Prabhupada gave everything in just, like time and time again we come across Srila Prabhupada's purport. Just in one purport we find the entire spiritual understanding. So, okay, now I'll go to a few verses that I have selected from Srimad Bhagavatam, which gives us the proper understanding. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop the stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifest. So now we get to see how Brahma came. Okay. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally the spiritual existence par excellence. As I said, he's lying down, he's not doing anything. He has nothing to do in this material nature. But his presence is needed. Without his presence, nothing will happen. Therefore, in this material nature, he is present, but he is not active. He is not active. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, that is, what is the second manifestation of the Purusha? Garbhodokshayi Vishnu. Is the source of indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men and others are created. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the 4 unmarried sons of Brahma. So now we are going to Brahma's creation. Brahma actually realized that he has to create. But when he tried to create, he completely messed up. He messed up everything. All he found is that he created all kinds of troubles and problems. So then he tried to purify himself through austerities and penances. And so then this is how Brahma begins. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras. Kumara means actually unmarried. Who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. So from their very birth, they were not interested in materialistic activities. They knew materialistic activity involvement in the material nature means problems. So they just wanted to stay clean out of it. So when Brahma told them, my son, you get involved in creation, sorry father, we are not going to get involved. So I'll just go to that one then. Okay, this part is very nice. Maybe I can read that also. The Brahma, when he performed these austerities, and through his austerities, his senses became purified. And then only he could see the Supreme Lord. Prior to that, he could not see. Although he came very close to the navel of the Lord, but he couldn't see him. Because with our mundane eyes, we cannot see the transcendental personality. In order to see him, we have to have purified senses. So when Brahma got purified, Brahma could see that on the water there was a gigantic lotus-like white bedstead, the body of Sheshanag, on which the personality of Godhead was lying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of the jewels bedecking the hood of Sheshanag, and that illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions. The luster of the transcendental body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. The coral mountain is very beautifully dressed by the evening sky, but the yellow dress of the Lord mocked its beauty. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with jewels, mocked it. The mountains, waterfalls, herbs, etc., with a panorama of flowers, seem like garlands, but the Lord's gigantic body and his hands and legs, decorated with jewels, pearls, tulasi leaves, and flower garlands, mocked the scene on the mountain. His transcendental body, unlimited in length and breadth, occupied the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. His body was self-illuminated by unparalleled dress and variegatedness, and was properly ornamented. The Lord showed his lotus feet by raising them. His lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by devotional service, free from material contamination. Such awards are for those who worship him in pure devotion. The splendor of the transcendental rays from his moon-like toenails and fingernails appeared like the petals of a flower. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. When you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. You are the original Rishi, and because your mind is always fixed on me, even though you will be engaged in generating various progeny, the vicious modes of passion will never encroach upon you. By following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before. By dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything. So this is how Brahma actually, after getting purified, received the benediction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to become engaged in material creation. This is actually Maitreya Rishi is instructing Vidura. The sage Maitreya said, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead in his personal form as Narayan, disappeared. So then, thereafter, Brahma saw the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus. Thus engaged in service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the world of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided into 3 divisions of worlds and later into 14 divisions. After the end of Brahma's night, the creation of the 3 worlds begins again in the daytime of Brahma, and they continue to exist through the life duration of the 14 consecutive Manus or fathers of mankind. So in this way we can see how beautifully Srimad Bhagavatam is revealing the transcendental knowledge to us. Isn't it, what should I say? I was about to say amazing, but amazing is not the word, I mean, I wanted to say something that is a combination of both. Amazingly disgusting. The way people are, the so-called scientists, are speculating about creation. Everything has been so clearly presented. The problem with the modern education or modern science is that they just don't want to accept the reality that exists beyond our sight, the spiritual reality. They are simply depending upon their own limited sense perception. And that's why Prabhupada very aptly gave the example of a frog in the well. It's such an appropriate analogy, actually. A frog in the well he came across another frog who went and saw the ocean. So, what is the ocean, my friend, frog? Ocean is a huge body of water. Oh, is the size of that water twice the size of this well? 3 times the size of this well? 100 times the size of the well? 1,000 times the size of the well? I mean, with the concept of well, can the frog understand the vastness of the ocean? So that's what is happening with these people. They're just speculating. Oh, this is... I mean, simple and perfect presentation has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why don't you accept it? Anyway, it's their problem. At least we are fortunate. Aren't we fortunate? Yes. And can we have any doubt about these descriptions? Like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself has given this knowledge. It is not that Brahma, with his own intelligence or own perception, recognized this or perceived this. Brahma actually received it. Again, I go back to that point that I mentioned in the beginning. The transcendental knowledge is revealed in the heart. Like in Brahma Samhita, we see that. Brahma was in a dilemma. He was completely confused. What am I going to do now? But then he started to internalize his senses. And as he did that, he heard the sound of the Lord's flute. By the mercy of the Lord, he heard the sound. And that sound actually manifested in the form of Gayatri. And meditating on Gayatri, the transcendental knowledge was revealed in the heart of Brahma. What does it actually mean? The transcendental knowledge was revealed in the heart of Brahma. Brahma was transported to the spiritual sky. Like it's not that Brahma was where his body was, so to say. And Brahma was seeing certain things from that situation with that consciousness. No. He was transported to the spiritual sky, and that description is Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpa Vriksha. Brahma is seeing that directly. What the spiritual sky is like. Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpa Vriksha Laksha Britesu Surabhir Abhipalayantam. He is seeing that land so beautiful. It's made of touchstones. Chintamani. We can't imagine how brilliant these touchstones are. Like the most precious diamonds compared to touchstones will appear like insignificant particles. It's made of touchstone. Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu. The trees, it's a forest. But all the trees are kalpavrikshas. There are cows, innumerable cows. All those cows are Surabhi cows. Surabhir abhipalayantam. There are so many beautiful women. And they are all Lakshmis. And there is Krishna. Venung kanantam aravinda dalayataksham. He's playing his flute. His eyes are like lotus petals, wide as lotus petals. Barhavatam samasitam buddha sundarangam. He's wearing a peacock feather on his head. And his beautiful dark complexion is beautifully and his beautiful body, sundarangam. So beautiful that Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. One Kandarpa, one Cupid is enchanting the whole universe. And millions of Cupids have been enchanted by seeing that form of the Lord. Can you imagine how beautiful he is? So Brahma is seeing. And that is this revelation. That is the transportation into the spiritual world. So that is what happens. One sees the Supreme Lord, and then the Brahma is receiving. Brahma is becoming aware. He is seeing all these personalities there. Lord Shiva, different incarnations, Durga Devi, Mahamaya, Ganesh, Indra, all these personalities, and he is seeing them in the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is what this Bhagavatam is giving us. We have to read them with full conviction. And why there should be any doubt? Like consider, why should Prabhupada mislead us? Why should Prabhupada take all the trouble at the age of 70, undergoing so many difficulties, come to America to distribute this knowledge? Why did he do that? Prabhupada was not motivated by any material objective. Prabhupada simply came to distribute this knowledge. Why a personality like Srila Prabhupada took all this trouble? Then let us go Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of the most brilliant personalities of all time. Jiva Goswami, all the Goswamis, the most brilliant personalities. Now, should we follow them or should we follow these fools who claim to be scientists and so forth? I'm sorry, like many of you probably are pursuing that career, but I feel confident because you are sitting here. Because I know you also laugh at those guys. Those who come up with this, all kinds of, as I said, fantastically stupid conclusions. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? Yes?
Maharaj, how would you recommend that a beginner can see those 10 subject matters within each canto of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Don't worry about that. Just read Prabhupada's purports. You know, it is not that we have to particularly understand these, but you know, it's good to have that awareness that Bhagavatam is dealing. Like when you go on to these points, step by step, creation, yes. And while you're reading, you'll come across, you know, how that aspect has been described. Sub-creation, planetary system. So to begin with, we have the general understanding, and then we carry on reading the Bhagavatam with Srila Prabhupada's purports. And the ultimate consideration is, as I said, the samam bonam, ashraya. The ultimate consideration is to surrender unto Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, I'll take him.
Can you explain a bit more about Sankara Narayana? Because the expansion of the Mahavishnu and then Sankara.
Okay. Okay, very good point. You see, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, who is in Vrindaban. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? His first expansion is Balaram. In Vrindavan, Krishna's expansion is Balaram. Then from Balaram expands the Chaturbhuha, the quadruple expansion. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha in Dwarka. They are in Dwarka. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Then from this Sankarshan expands the Narayans of Vaikuntha. And Narayans of Vaikuntha also has Chaturbhuha. And from that Sankarshan expands Mahavishnu. And then from then onwards, you know. So this is the general understanding of the expansions of the Lord. And then his expansions also have six categories. 6 kinds of incarnations. Like we discussed now, Purushavatar, 3 Vishnus in relation to material creation. Then Gunavatar, there are 3 modes of material nature. They are being controlled by 3 incarnations of the Lord as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Then there are 4 Jugavatars. There are Leelavatars. There are Manvantar avatars. And there are Shaktavesh avatars. Yes.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to ask about Manvantara. Manu, you said is the person who is like the foreman. We read that Indra is the king of the heavenly planets, and he is in that way, in that sense, he is the leader also, and here Manu is also shown to be a leader. Like, what is the difference between Manu's role and Indra's?
Manu's role is pertaining mainly to give the principles of dharma to the human beings. And he is the leader of the group in that way, because it's his reign. But his reign actually spreads, you can say, all over the universe, more or less. Upper, middle and planetary, lower planetary system. And in that, there are heavenly planets, there are certain, so Indra is there, Brihaspati is there, right? Then sun god is there. Like in this one is Vivashwan, but next Manvantara will be another person become the sun god. Like this is how, that it is his reign in general, but different positions are occupied by different entities. And that change with his change. Any other question? Yes, Aditya.
When you spoke about like how Brahma actually meditates and knowledge is revealed in his heart, and Gayatri Mantra. So I have like two questions related to that. The form of Krishna that is.
Well, this description, it seems, at the beginning what Brahma got. Because it is starting, like if you go to the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita, you see that Brahma is in ignorance. Brahma is confused. He's seeing himself situated. That was at the beginning. And then as he got purified, the Lord actually told him, he saw him, and he saw the situation, how the lotus actually spread all over the universe. So the understanding is that happened at the beginning stage. And then every day he sees Krishna, comes almost at the midday. Yes, Ladini Prabhu.
So I have a two-part question about the subterranean heavenly planets. The first part is, what is the distinction between the subterranean heavenly planets and the hellish planets? And two, how do people end up in the subterranean?
Let me first answer the first question. So, the description of the subterranean heavenly planets like Atal, Bital, Sutal, Rasatal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal, these 7 lower planetary systems have been described as, extremely gorgeous places. I'll come to that. But the thing is, the problem is that, they're enjoying, they're completely engrossed in the materialistic enjoyment. And the facilities are there, they're enjoying, but they're devoid of Krishna consciousness. Now consider, actually, often we consider that subterranean heavenly planets replication here is Las Vegas. Like sunlight doesn't enter there, I heard. The arrangements they have there in those places, like whenever you enter there, it's all lit up by artificial lighting. And, you can't make out whether it's day or night. It's always and don't they have some so-called enjoyment? But are they enjoying? They want to enjoy, but they end up suffering. I heard there's a saying that in Las Vegas no one became a millionaire, but many millionaires became paupers. Many millionaires became paupers. So that's the thing. And now you consider, those who are engrossed in materialistic enjoyment, doesn't it look like they're enjoying? And don't they also feel that they're enjoying? But how do we look at them? Right, there's actual suffering. So they are so engrossed in their endeavor to enjoy that they're completely oblivious of their suffering condition and they're completely immersed in their sense enjoyment. But is it real? No. It's actually a source of suffering, eventually. Second question.
I was wondering how people end up in the subterranean heavenly planets. I was wondering if people who are stuck in the mode of goodness, but who are atheistic, I know it sounds nonsensical to us, but it seems like that could be a doorway, a portal into the subterranean heavenly planets.
Well, ultimately it's one karma. Whatever happens is due to one's karma. And we can say in simple words, like when one is averse to the Lord, but has a lot of piety, they end up in that situation. Like just consider, I mean, in today's world, those who are very opulent, very wealthy, they're, and averse to Krishna consciousness, averse to Krishna. Materially they have, so many opulent situations. And that is and that's the result of their pious activities, good karma. But kshine punne marta lokam vishanti. Yes, thank you. There is a question there. Yes.
How is one of the such subterranean planet, Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj are living, and how do we equate the ignorance part, who are full of knowledge, how they are living there?
Well, sometimes you find some devotees in Las Vegas. Like, they are not affected by that. Like, for example, Bali Maharaj, you see, when Ravan was fighting with Ramchandra, Ravan went to Bali Maharaj for his support. Bali Maharaj told him that don't fight with him. You're wrong. You stole his wife, just return her. And still Ravan won't listen. And Bali Maharaj actually told him, look, since you came to me, I'll give you a gift, but you have to carry it yourself. So he took him to a mountain of gold, studded with diamonds like the size of a human being. Like huge diamonds, very beautifully studded in that mountain, golden mountain. Take it. Ravan couldn't lift it. And he said, you know what this is? This is the earring of my grandfather, Hiranyaksha. And that Ram killed him. So what chance do you have? And still Ravan won't listen to him. So yes, Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they're situated in proper knowledge, but they have assigned with that responsibility. They're the rulers of those regions. But they're devotees. Yes, they're
Thank you, Maharaj. He described the 18th Purana in three categories. Srila Vyasadeva, when he compiled all the 18th Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam is part of the 18th Purana, or that was separate after?
No, it is. The final one is the Srimad Bhagavatam.
So that was the one after he was unsatisfied and
Yeah.
he approached Anantani and then
Yeah.
that's how so that was not originally all the Purana that he compiled.
Yeah.
That was separate.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes.
So in this, we hear in Brahma Samhita, this universe is like a mustard in a bag of mustard seeds. And we are in the Kali Yuga. How does our time compare to like the other universes, and like how is it Kali Yuga in other universes, or how does it?
Yeah, every universe go through that phases, 4 yugas. It's a cycle of time. Every universe goes through the cycle of time. And then eventually they come to the age of Kali, finally. Like as in this universe we have Kali Yuga, in those universes also they have Satta, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. The more time is moving in that cycle.
But it's not Kali Yuga in all universes at the same time?
At the same time, no. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So we know that Krishna appears once in the day of Brahma. So my question is, in other Divya Yugas, what happens since Krishna and Mahaprabhu are not present? So what happens in that Kali Yuga and that Yuga?
The process continues, the process remains Sankirtan Yajna, but they don't get Mahamantra. They get the Tarak Brahma mantra, the mantra that delivers. And their goal is not, in those ages, the goal is not Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. The goal is Vaikuntha. By performing Sankirtan, they go back to Vaikuntha, not to Golok Vrindavan.
You mentioned about the Nitya, the eternally conditioned souls. So the eternally conditioned, then what's the chance that we get back?
Here we have to understand that eternally means, for a long, long time. So long that you cannot really figure out when. Right? And another point that Bhakti Vinod Thakur mentioned in that respect, that the cause of a living entity's fall down is in the spiritual domain. Right? Where the time is eternal. So the cause of a fall down is in that eternal concept of time. And we won't be able to figure out what is the cause of a fall down unless and until we go back there. Therefore, Prabhupada said, don't waste your time. Where we came from is not important. Where we have to go, that is what is important. I mean, I'm saying it because I see so many people are wasting their time just on, on this simple, useless point actually. What difference does it make? Yes.
I think Jayadvaita Swami said that the conditioned soul comes from Cincinnati.
Only?
That's what he said. But I just had one doubt that I heard from the scientists who were talking with Srila Prabhupada during one of his morning walks, talking about life comes from life. And he said that spirit soul comes down in a rainbow drop, and then it goes into the grass, and the grass is eaten by the man, which turns into semen.
Yeah, that's a description in Mahabharata. But that doesn't describe the original cause of fall down. You see, what is described there, that due to the pious activities, one goes to the heavenly planet. But when the pious activities are exhausted, then he falls from heavenly planet. And when he falls, below the heavenly planet there are Rakshasas. So they catch him and eat him. And due to the pain, he cries. And his soul comes out with his tears. And that falls on the earth through raindrops. And then it enters into some foodstuff. And someone eats that food. And then that soul enters into his body and through his semen comes into certain if he is fortunate enough, get another body. And that's how rare That's how rare the human form of life is.
Just when Sir Damodar heard that, he said, "How horrible."
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for the class very much. I have a practical question. When we try to understand the cosmology and the time according to Vedic scriptures, how do we apply that to our daily practice of Krishna consciousness on a practical level? Because theoretically, I can understand that there are 4 consecutive months, but in trying to deal with the conflict of material life and spiritual life and balancing that, I feel this knowledge is something that I can't apply, or I don't know what to take away from this in our practical daily Krishna consciousness. So how do you look at that?
Well, get the knowledge and apply it when it is necessary or when the need comes. Like you learn calculus. How do you utilize in your day-to-day life? I mean, and the point is, like if you're in a particular field, when the application is needed, yes, you apply it. So it's not that knowledge doesn't have any relevance. It has its relevance. But the question. But on the other hand, it was not an exact example. Like spiritual context is needed at every single moment, at every single step of our life. And by understanding that, our whole concept changes. So that is the advantage of knowledge. When you have it, then you are able to apply it in a proper way for your own benefit. Okay, Aditya. So, I'll take the last question maybe. Vrindaban, I think you are with your reporters? Yeah, okay. So I'll be finishing now and again. No, it's okay.
So I wanted a clarification on the Virat Roop.
Yeah.
Like in the first 3 cantos, actually a few times you read the entire description of the Virat Roop. But also we know that the Virat Roop is not a form in the spiritual sky. Is there a real form in the material sky, or is it the sages have explained it so that we can relate everything to the Creator?
Yeah.
How do we understand that? Because sometimes we read like the mountains are described like
the bones.
I forget the exact
bones and yeah. It is a form, but Prabhupada is saying it is a temporary form. It is not the eternal form of the Lord. Like other forms, like Vishnu forms and other forms are all eternal, right? Not related to material creation. But the Virat Roop is actually, you can say that the personality of the Lord in total creation, in relation to total creation. Everything is included in that, and that is the form of the Lord. So when the material nature dissolves, that form also dissolves. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai.